Don't do it, Caroline Dries. Don't do it. I swear to everything holy in this universe. If you even think about doing what I think you're thinking about doing, you will unleash a rage upon yourself the likes of which you can't even comprehend. If you thought I was taking no prisoners before, just wait. Just wait. Because if you actually go through with this, you will... No. No. You know what? No. I'm not even going to dignify this with my attention. That can come later. It's all right. It's all right. Everything's fine. Just hit the intro. And we're going to have a nice, calm, relaxing Batwoman review where I'm sure nothing at all will happen that will make me want to mail a box of roadkill to Greg Berlanti's house. Let's do this. So the episode begins with a couple in a hotel room. The woman's taking a bath while the man is in bed writing "I just got busy" over and over again in his diary, when there's a knock on the door. It appears to be room service with champagne, only they didn't order champagne. And that's because this isn't really room service, it's Victor Zsasz, and he's here to kill them. Wow, a straight couple is about to die horribly. Who could have seen that coming on this show? So Zsasz makes quick work of the man, snaps his neck, and then he has a little fun with the woman, revealing that the man's wife hired him to kill them, and that he could have done this with cheap champagne, but the wife sprung for the expensive vintage because she wanted her to know that she was willing to spend more money on the other woman than her husband was. I love that this woman could have screamed for help at any point during this, but chose not to. So he kills her too, and then he lies their corpses in bed together, takes off his shirt, and cuts himself. Because that's how Victor Zsasz rolls. And then the dumbass has to jinx himself by looking at all the self-inflicted scars all over his body and saying that, hey, I'm getting close to retirement. You can probably guess what happens next. So Batwoman's doing Victor Zsasz now. I don't know much about Zsasz from the comics, admittedly, but after the treatment Tommy Elliott got, I am not optimistic about this at all. I did like this scene, though. I don't know how accurate a portrayal this is, but the actor is good, and they managed to make Victor Zsasz seem cool and intimidating. Don't get used to that, though. I'm pretty sure it's just a fluke. Then we cut to some junkie on the street trying to score some new drug called snakebite from a dealer in a funny mask, but his night is ruined when Batwoman drops in. Things don't go smoothly, though. She's still having trouble sticking the landing because the boots don't fit right, and hitting a moving target with the batarangs is proving to be challenging. She throws every batarang she's got. Miss, miss, miss. Finally, she connects with one of them, so we're still seeing that Ryan kinda sucks with the bat gear. Which is good, because she should suck at it at this stage. And I'm reminded of that episode in Season 1 where Kate used a batarang for the first time and she also missed, but she didn't miss because it was her first time using the batarang, she missed because it wasn't calibrated for her. So the only reason she didn't hit her target perfectly the first time she used a batarang was because Luke screwed up, not her. Here, Ryan has trouble hitting this guy because she's never used a batarang before and her aim sucks. This is better. This feels like a problem an actual character might have. And my God, is it depressing how rarely I get to say that when talking about this show. So the dealer says, "You ain't Batwoman." And Ryan says, "Luke, I need a good comeback," out loud. So this criminal can definitely hear that she's talking to some guy named Luke. That's the kind of thing you might want to lower your voice for if you want to keep a secret identity, Ryan. When Luke can't think of a comeback, or just doesn't give enough of a shit to think of one, Ryan just beats the crap out of the dealer until a beeping noise goes off. And this, Ryan says, is a tag in the GCPD. Aha! So the GCPD does still exist! After the last episode, I honestly wasn't sure, but it looks like they are still out there. Somewhere. Beats me what the hell they've been up to this whole time, but they are still a thing. Go figure. That beeping noise was to alert Ryan that she's going to be late for her meeting with her parole officer. So she takes off, without apprehending the dealer, mind you, and goes to meet this person. When she gets there, said parole officer assumes that her being late means that Ryan has a day job now, even though this meeting was scheduled in the middle of the night. Just go with it. So while Rachel Maddow wonders about the new Batwoman's skin color like that actually f***ing matters, we go to Mary's illegal underground abortion clinic, and get this, Mary not only has multiple employees working under her, but she now has expanded her highly illegal medical practice to include CT scans on cancer patients. Have I mentioned that Mary does not have a license to practice medicine, should still be in medical school, and is risking countless medical malpractice lawsuits and possible jail time every second she keeps this place open? Just out of curiosity, who are all these people working for Mary? Are they also medical students with no license? Is she paying them in cash under the table? What happens when one of her patients needs prescription meds? Does Mary forge the signature of an actual licensed physician? I just thought I'd ask because we're 23 episodes in now and these questions have never even been raised. So Mary tells one of the other illegal doctors working under her to take this patient to the lab, because Mary has an illegal lab now too. Of course. Then Ryan runs in and tells Mary that her phone's about to ring and she needs to tell the person on the other line that she works for a latex company called Vandelay Industries. I am of course kidding, but it's pretty much the same situation as that old Seinfeld episode. So the parole officer calls, and Mary has to say that she hired Ryan as a bartender at Kate's gay bar, because Mary runs that place now too. Sure, why not? Between going to medical school, running her illegal medical clinic, sometimes working at Kate's real estate company, which may or may not still be a thing, and helping out with Batwoman stuff, I'm sure Mary has enough hours in the day to take on another job. It's not like human beings need to take time to sleep or go to the bathroom or anything. Mary thinks it's a good thing that Ryan basically roped Mary into giving her a job. That'll explain why they're hanging out all the time. All the time seems weird to Mary, since Luke made it sound like she's just keeping the batsuit warm until Kate comes back, while Mary makes it sound like Kate is not coming back. Which one is it, she wonders? And Mary doesn't have an answer. Because if this show said definitively that Kate was never coming back, that might mean that God wasn't pointing at me and laughing for a change. Over at Crow's HQ, Jacob is briefing his people about the snakebite drug, which is made from a combination of shrooms and the Scarecrow's fear toxin. Jesus H. Christ, is there anyone in Gotham City who does not have access to the fucking fear toxin? Did Scarecrow mass produce that shit? Did he hand out free samples to shoppers at Costco or post the recipe on his fucking blog? Why does everybody and their brother have this stuff? They think something called the False Face Society are behind the snakebite drug, and Jacob wants to know what their chain of command is. Then someone drops off some of Kate's stuff that was recovered from the plane crash. Kate's phone is in there, but Jacob doesn't know the password. He thinks Sophie might know it, but Sophie's not around right now. She's waking up on a beach on some island somewhere with Alice. And this was all part of Alice's plan, you see. She had to poison Mouse to death in order to turn a flock of bats into super deadly poison-injecting bats, which would then poison hundreds of people without getting poisoned themselves naturally, so Alice would have an excuse to put the Deus Ex Machina cure out there in the public because she knew this would provoke Safiyah, who would then kidnap Alice and bring her to this island so Alice could get face-to-face with her and then kill Safiyah for killing Kate before Alice could kill Kate. It all went off without a hitch. And why couldn't Alice just travel to the island herself and forego all that needlessly complicated bullshit, you ask? Because the plot didn't say so, alright? Come on, how long have we been doing this? Now the plot did say that Sophie had to get kidnapped too, though I couldn't tell you why if you put a gun to my head. It's not like she does anything afterward. So Alice is taken to Safiyah, and Sophie just sits there and sticks her thumb up her ass for a while. That's right, Sophie was absolutely integral to this subplot. Cut to Victor Zsasz walking into Hamilton Dynamics. He kills some dude for his ID badge, and apparently his real face doesn't have to match the badge because he gets right through security no problem. Some guy in the lab pulls a gun on him, which Zsasz thinks is almost cute. He takes the gun and kills that dude too, and then steals something off the computer. So that's 2 scenes in a row where Victor Zsasz has seemed like a pretty cool, fun, entertaining, dangerous villain. And if you didn't know by now that they were just setting him up to get nerfed all to hell in a few minutes, well, then you don't know Batwoman. Cut to the Batcave where Luke, Mary, and Ryan are watching security footage of this. And it's pretty funny how Victor Zsasz did not give a shit about being caught on camera. He walks right into the shot, not even trying to hide it. It's as if the episode was very badly written or something. So Hamilton Dynamics is being really hush-hush about what Zsasz made off with, and they don't have to tell Mary because Mary sold her shares of the company after her mom died, which, by the way, makes Mary a multi-billionaire. Which has never even been mentioned in the show until now. Sure, why not? Billionaires just grow on f***ing trees now. Kate was a billionaire. Mary's a billionaire. Every woman gets to be a billionaire. Well, every woman except the black woman. Sorry, Ryan. And they even call attention to this. Ryan's like, wait a damn minute. You're a multi-billionaire, and here I am making $12.50 an hour tending f***ing bar? Yes, Ryan. Because you're black. According to the Batwoman writers, that means that you're a victim. How do you not know what show you're on by now? You know, the writer's black victim narrative already has the potential to be way, way more offensive than their gay victim narrative in Season 1 was. We're only 3 episodes in, guys. This could get ugly. So Ryan recognizes Victor Zsasz, because Ryan has spent a lot of time around criminals, remember? She has to go to work to start earning her $12.50 an hour, but on her way out, she tells Luke and Mary what she knows about Zsasz so they can start tracking him down. And what she knows is that Victor Zsasz ships in high-end French skincare lotion, the name of which translates to baby's butt. I wish I was making that up. I really do. So Alice meets with Safiyah, and for a supposedly infamous, terrifying lesbian pirate, this chick is surprisingly mellow. Even though Alice exposed her island's most precious resource to everyone in Gotham, she didn't bring Alice here to kill her after all. Turns out these two have a long history together despite, Alice being locked in a basement for half her life. In fact, Alice was a former student of Safiyah's. I have no idea when the hell that could have happened, but the plot says it did, so f*** it. Also, Safiyah says that she didn't kill Kate. Someone else just wants Alice to think she did. This is about to get a lot more convoluted, isn't it? Pinch me. Cut to Batwoman in Victor Zsasz's apartment looking for the drive he stole. Zsasz strolls in like the most chill motherfucker on earth, and he just goes to the bar and starts making a drink while Ryan is fumbling with the weapons like a jackass. She didn't bother retrieving any of the batarangs, and Luke didn't think to make more, so I guess they both done f***ed up this time. So Luke tells Ryan to use the bow staff instead, and she can't find the button that makes it expand. Meanwhile, Zsasz is like 10 feet away being all, hey, I'm making screwdrivers, do you want ice in yours? Oh my god, it's such a shit show. And I know I keep bringing this up, but I'm sorry, it's just really refreshing to have the rookie superhero actually be a work in progress instead of doing everything perfectly right out of the gate like Kate did. Ryan should be clumsy with the Batgear because she hasn't trained with it yet. Does she even know how to use a bow staff? Beats me. So yeah, as embarrassing as this is, it actually makes a lot more sense than the shit with Kate ever did. Because Ryan actually kind of feels like a person, whereas Kate was, well, not. So Zsasz points out that Ryan seems really uncomfortable with this Batwoman gig. And then he pulls a goddamn rocket launcher out from under the bar, and Ryan has to dive out the window to avoid getting blown up by a surface-to-air missile. Wow. Although, given everything the show has told us about the Batsuit, I really don't know why she bothered. Unless Victor Zsasz was packing a rocket made of f***ing kryptonite, Ryan would have been perfectly fine. What else does Zsasz keep under that bar, I wonder? I mean, the rocket launcher's all well and good, but just imagine if he had a trumpet down there. Ryan would never have left that apartment alive. Ryan did get away with the drive, though, but the only thing on it is a list of names. Just names of regular people who don't seem to have any connection to each other, since Luke, Mary, and Ryan don't feel like taking 5 seconds to do some actual detective work to figure that out. And yeah, that's about all the time it would probably take if they were serious about this. A simple Google search might do it. So they need a new lead now, and Ryan has a plan. She's going to talk to Zsasz as herself and find out who hired him to steal the drive. And that will totally work because Ryan has spent lots of time around criminals. This plan is airtight. So because Mary's a multi-billionaire, she liquidates a few stray millions she had lying around, or maybe she just appropriated that pile of $1,000 bills she'd been using as toilet paper, so Ryan will have something to get Zsasz's attention with. She finds him in a hotel bar, and Zsasz recognizes Ryan as Angelique Martin's ex. Stay and do whatever you want, he says. Just don't do to me what you did to her. Okay, so no scissoring for Victor Zsasz. Got it. Ryan says that she heard his last job went sideways and wants to hire him to take out Alice. But he's not interested because the sideways job isn't done yet, and he can't even be bribed to cough up the name of the person who hired him. But he doesn't have to. Ryan brought a gadget that cloned his phone, so they get the information anyway. Zsasz's mystery client was Safiyah. What a twist. We go to Tatiana telling Sophie all about Alice's history with Safiyah, and she says that Safiyah prides herself on being a fair and just ruler, which pretty much goes against virtually everything the show has told us about Safiyah up to this point. Also, that she took Alice in and groomed her to be a soldier. And I'm still calling bullshit on that. The timeline doesn't even come close to making sense. But Alice broke the cardinal rule of the island by trying to leave and taking the super amazing desert rose flower. And damn, the writers are really excited about this thing. The desert rose flower is going to be the batsuit of season 2, isn't it? Back to Alice and Safiyah. Safiyah is still denying that she blew up Kate's plane, and they're speculating as to who might have done it. Someone who thought you still mattered to me, Safiyah says. Damn, these grapes are sour. Rough breakup, sweetie? Alice still isn't buying this, though, and she recalls how she reneged on her deal with the rifle in Season 1, who was working for Safiyah at the time, and Safiyah killed Alice's whole gang in retaliation, which Safiyah also denies doing. So, assuming Safiyah's telling the truth here, that would mean someone has gone to a ridiculous amount of trouble to make Alice think Safiyah hates her guts. But why? To what end? What possible purpose could this have? Beats me, but if they're trying to outdo Alice in the insanely elaborate plan department, they've still got a long way to go to catch up. Safiyah says that she forgave Alice for taking the desert rose flower, so that was a thing for all of 5 seconds. But putting the desert rose out there in the world will be much harder to forgive because now the island will be ravaged by people wanting the flower and their peace will cease to exist. What a load of crap. First of all, no one even knows where the flower came from or that it even existed. All they know is Hamilton Dynamics whipped up a magic antidote to save people from poison-injecting bats. And second, even if they did know about it, why would they have to ravage the island to get it? I mean, it seems like the super amazing properties of this flower are astonishingly easy to synthesize. Hamilton analyzed, synthesized, and mass-produced this stuff literally overnight. So what do they need the flower for? Why's the flower so special? I mean, once you've got the recipe, it seems like any asshole with a working meth lab could probably crank this stuff out. But that's Safiyah's story and she's sticking to it. Alice still doesn't believe her, but she does point out that she didn't expose the desert rose flower to the world. She just gave it to one person and they did the rest. Cut to Mary and Luke looking up Safiyah. Luke remarks that she's really shady, so Ryan's probably in a book club with her or something. So Mary asks Luke what his problem with Ryan is. And I'd also like to know that. Minus the black victimization stuff, Ryan's been a breath of fresh air after I had to deal with Kate for 20 hellish episodes. Luke denies having a problem with Ryan, so Mary asks what his problem with her is then. So Luke gets pissy about Mary doing all this awful shit like helping Ryan get a job and encouraging her and stuff. Why bother being nice to her? She's just a stand-in until the paragon of amazingness, Kate Kane, comes back. But then Mary delivers a reality check. What are the odds of surviving a plane explosion? What are the odds of surviving the fall? I mean, yeah, miracles do happen, but so do tragedies, Luke. Kate is not coming back. Whoa, whoa, hey now. Don't threaten me with a good time, Mary. People watch these videos to see me get pissed off. So Mary says that Gotham needs a Batwoman, and Ryan may not be perfect, but she can give the city hope, and they've got to let go of this idea that Kate is still out there. And this does not track at all with that scene of her and Jacob in the last episode, where Mary still had hope that Kate was alive, but hey, if you're expecting continuity on this show, well, you shouldn't. Later, at the illegal underground abortion clinic, Mary's underling walks in and says that the scans of the cancer patient from earlier reveal that her cancer has mysteriously disappeared because she got the super awesome anti-poison injecting bat Deus Ex Machina serum the other night. So amazing is the Desert Rose drug that it can completely cure stage 4 cancer in a matter of hours. Not put in remission, cure. So, yeah, Safiyah, by all means, try to keep that to your damn self. We wouldn't want the public getting their hands on horrible shit like this. So Mary puts 2 and 2 together, she gets on the phone with Luke and Ryan, and she thinks that what Zsasz stole from Hamilton was a list of all the people who received the super amazing anti-poison injecting bat Deus Ex Machina Desert Rose drug, which apparently is just a magical cure-all for every malady under the sun from HIV to gonorrhea. It is the Batsuit of Season 2! Holy shit! Then Victor Zsasz walks in. And wouldn't you know it, this man, who has been incredibly efficient at killing people up until now, suddenly has a really hard time killing Mary. So Mary's able to alert the others before she has to run for her life and hide in the alley. Meanwhile, Ryan and Luke are having a discussion about how Ryan changed the hairpiece on the Batsuit. Have you seen that damn wig, she says? Because that's the most important thing we need to focus on right this second. Batwoman's hair being shit. And dear God, I loathe to make this comparison, but remember that season 1 episode where the bad guy gave Kate exactly 1 hour before he started killing lots of people, and rather than rushing to stop him before the hour was up, Kate took the time to alter and accessorize the Batsuit instead? Ryan might have more in common with Kate than I thought. God help that woman. So Ryan basically teleports from the Batcave to the alley outside Mary's clinic in about 3 seconds. She's all decked out in her new black woman wig. It still looks like crap, by the way, but she seems a lot more comfortable with it. Her and Zsasz fight. She lands 1 kick, and he has to stop to remark how impressive she is all of a sudden. So I don't know how Ryan changing the wig fixed the boots that didn't fit right, but it did somehow. Then Zsasz asks her, if the person you're inflicting pain on actually enjoys pain, at what point do you just give up? And he does make this sound pretty badass, but the point is moot. The show has drilled into us over and over and over that whoever wears the Batsuit is pretty much invincible. Now, if Zsasz was fighting with kryptonite or a trumpet instead of knives, that might be a different story, but he's not. So we're really just delaying the inevitable here. So Zsasz gets Ryan down on the ground, but then she whips out the bow staff, expands it correctly this time, knocks him out in comically easy fashion, and this hitman who had been cool and deadly and cunning and super dangerous for the entire episode goes down like a total bitch. Is anyone really surprised? So Mary geeks out about how super awesome the new wig is, because that's the first thing you think about after you've nearly gotten murdered, and then, stop me if you've heard this one, Batwoman zooms off without securing the bad guy. Suddenly, it's like Kate never left. They do mention later on that Zsasz was apprehended though, so Ryan dodged a bullet that time, but let's not make a habit of this, okay? Back on the island, Alice and Safiyah are reminiscing about how they met right after Alice escaped from the basement. That timeline still makes no sense. She was broken and angry, but Safiyah taught her how to turn that rage into power. But the rage never included killing Kate, and now she's turning it on Kate's supposed killer, so WTF. Alice says that she always thought her and Kate were one and the same and would do anything for each other, but she was wrong. So Safiyah takes her hand to comfort her, and then Alice lunges at her and tries to kill her. You took everything from me, she says. But then Safiyah gets the upper hand, and she's like, nah, bitch, I gave you everything. just like I'll give you your sister. And she reveals that she has Kate's necklace. Oh dear God. I do not like where this is going. If I blew up Kate's plane with her inside, how could I possibly have this, she says. Well, you could have just taken it from Kate before she got on the plane. It's not hard to poke holes in this, but for some reason, Alice believes it. I do not have a good feeling about this at all. Meanwhile, Sophie's gotten bored just sitting around, so she decides to f*** with Tatiana by saying it's messed up that defector Alice gets a private audience with Safiyah while Tatiana's stuck on babysitting duty. That's why you hate Alice, isn't it, she says. And did I miss something? I've seen no evidence that Tatiana has any strong feelings about Alice, so beats me where Sophie's getting this from. Seems like Tatiana's just following orders here. Tatiana says that if Safiyah lets Alice go, Sophie needs to be okay with Alice just roaming around free in Gotham. But Sophie's not okay with that, so Tatiana has no more use for her. So they fight. Tatiana wins the fight easily, takes Sophie down, but before she can kill Sophie, Safiyah shows up and stops her, remarking how awesome Sophie is because it's been a long time since someone got the drop on Tatiana. What? Was she watching a different fight? What the hell is she talking about? So one of Safiyah's goons injects Sophie with something and knocks her out. Alice isn't leaving without Kate, but Safiyah says that Kate will be brought to the island only after Alice leaves, and that she has every intention of giving Kate back, but Alice has to do something for her first. Oh yeah, this story totally checks out. So Rachel Maddow geeks out about how awesome Batwoman's new hairdo is, Ryan's parole officer fangirls about how awesome the new Batwoman is, and shows Ryan a big picture of the new Batwoman on the front page of a newspaper. What the Yeah, Mary is handling Batwoman's PR now. A crime fighter who lurks in the shadows and strikes fear into the hearts of criminals needs fucking PR. So she set this up. Because in Gotham City, where in Season 1 we saw these characters utilizing incredibly effective facial recognition software, Mary thought, hey, let's give the newspaper a nice clear picture of the new Batwoman's face. What could possibly go wrong? The parole officer says that Ryan's boss is happy with her performance. She better be, says Ryan. I saved her ass last night. Ryan hasn't really grasped the whole secret identity thing yet. And now that she has a job, the next step is housing. It's on Ryan's to-do list, but the parole officer is like, hey, you know what's on Batwoman's to-do list? Literally saving the city from falling into a black hole of despair. Isn't she the coolest? Not you, though. Your ass needs a home address by next week, or I'm writing you up. Say what now? Oh yeah, I'm sure Ryan can take her $12.50 an hour and go put a down payment on a private condo by the beach. Write you up? Why? Ryan's had a job for 2 fucking days. Having a place she can afford that's not her van isn't something she can necessarily pull off right away. And she's gonna get written up for that? Yeah, that'll teach Ryan for being black, am I right, Caroline Dries? This. So Sophie and Alice wake up back in Gotham, and Alice says Sophie still being alive is not a good thing. It means Safiyah has a crush on her. Of course. Then when Sophie tries to arrest her, Alice says if she does that, then Alice can't do the job Safiyah tasked her with, and then she might never tell her where Kate is. Luke visits Ryan at work and he gives her a present. It's a new Batarang. He made more, and Ryan promises that she'll work on her aim. And that I actually like. They acknowledge that the problem is Ryan just needs to practice, and not that the bat gear hasn't been calibrated for her, thus shifting the blame onto Luke, because God forbid Batwoman be anything less than super amazing at everything. This is much less infuriating. So Luke apologizes for being hard on Ryan. She gets it, he misses Kate, God knows why, but she just needs him to give her a real chance until Kate gets back. Then Luke goes to see Mary, who is literally making a Kate Kane shrine. She says it's something Jewish people do for the dead. If this means that Kate is really dead, then knock yourself out, Mary. So Luke is still not ready to admit that Kate's dead because he wants me to kill myself, and nothing has really changed here. They both still feel the way they feel. And then the episode ends in the most horrifying way imaginable. Jacob broke into Kate's phone off-screen. He goes through her contacts, finds a photo of a painting with Safiyah's name written on it. Then Sophie comes in, and Jacob wonders what Kate was doing looking into a painting by Jack Napier. Maybe we can ask when we find her, Sophie says. I think Kate's alive. No. 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 No, 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 no! 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 I really didn't think there could be a more sickening way to end this episode than with the tease that Kate might still be alive, but they found one. Keep Jack Napier's name out of your fucking mouths, writers. You know, as horrible as it was, the one silver lining in that story about Bruce killing the Joker is that it meant that the Joker was off the table. If Mr. J was dead, that meant that he was safe. It meant that he couldn't appear in this show. It meant that these despicable hack writers could never get their grubby hands on him and butcher him beyond all recognition. Sure, this tease might have excited some people, but they're only excited because they haven't thought about what it means. I mean, Jesus Christ, after what these writers did to Hush, would you honestly trust them for 1 second with the fucking Joker? One of the greatest comic book supervillains of all time? Don't you do it, writers. Don't you even think about it! And then there's the rest of this episode, which was only there to serve one purpose. To take an already convoluted situation and twist it into about 10 more pretzels, all in an effort to tease the possibility, no matter how insignificant, that the producers might be able to convince Ruby Rose to come back. Because the paragon of amazingness, Kate f***ing Kane being gone, is the real problem, right? That's why everything sucks so much. That's why viewership is still going down. It's not because the writing on this show is a goddamn embarrassment that insults the audience's intelligence every second it continues to exist. It's not because this show is the dumpster fire to end all dumpster fires. It's because Kate's not there! Caroline Dries, you can delude yourself until the cows come home, but no matter how much you pat yourself on the back and call yourself a hero for denying the evil bury your gays trope, Kate being gone is not the reason this show sucks. You are. So why don't you, Greg Berlanti, and every single writer on your staff take all your dreams of getting Kate back, any ideas you might be kicking around about using the Joker, and any pathetic hopes you might be entertaining about your ratings rebounding, getting a 3rd season, or your show being the cure for cancer, roll them up into a big ball and shove them up your asshole. Because being covered in shit is the only thing your ideas, hopes, and dreams deserve. F*** you, and f*** this show. And that's it for this one. I'm getting out of here. Leave a comment, ding the bell, follow me on social media so you'll always be notified when I upload new stuff. The link is down there. Thumbs up the video, share, subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed. I'll be back with more soon. Until then, do all the YouTube things and peace out.